Hello! Thank you so much, Resky, for telling me that. I was looking at the light. It's weird. I'm not used to seeing the light there. But isn't it so much better? Out of context, I got a ring light. There was a guy selling a used ring light, although he hadn't used it for some reason. Anyways, he was still selling it on a little, like a, what do you call it? Like a second-hand online store. It's not a store. It's just like a place where people can, like, kind of like Facebook Marketplace, but it's just specifically for selling stuff. Anyways, there was a ring light there, and I got it for super cheap. And it's completely brand new, and he even, like, the whole package was still unopened, so it's never been used. I hope it lasts for a long time because it's really great. And it's really bright. I wasn't expecting it to be this bright. This is the lowest setting. And it's not so big. It's like this size? Like that size? So let's hope it lasts for a long time because this is exciting. And I know! It has such a difference to... I didn't change anything. I still have my webcam. But it's the lighting that makes such a difference. It's really cool to see. Oh, you almost see my microphone with my little chick. I'll show you just because it's so funny. Oh, you can't really see it. I have this... this little chick on it. I love those kind of little Easter chicks. And Fins! That's so cute. Oh my god, you're making me blush now. I got a new ring light, so that's all thanks to that. It's really cool. It's really, really cool to see the change in quality, because if I put it off, can I reach it? Hold on a minute. If I switch it off, it's completely different. Like, this was my old stream. This is the stream we've been playing for, or playing. This is the stream, or what it has looked like for this whole time. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, per se, but it's such a difference. Such a difference. Anyways, let's put it back on. It's a little bit far away, the switch, so give me... Oh. There we go. Ow. Okay, I am back. With HD. I'm good. I've had an okay day. Kind of a slow day. My neck, like right here, has been so bad, like for a couple of weeks, that I've been kind of like trying to avoid sitting at my computer for too long, especially for a long period of time. So I've kind of not been editing, which is annoying me because I like editing, and I'm currently in the phase, I go between like phases of like really only wanting to edit and enjoying that, or really wanting to film and enjoying that. It goes like, sometimes like it's just one of the other. And when I'm on the other kick, like right now, I don't feel like filming. Like, I don't want to film. Fortunately, I also have a lot of pre-filmed stuff. I filmed for a lot of different... not a lot of different... oh, words. I filmed a bunch of videos on a row. That's what I wanted to say. And so I have stuff to edit, but now I can't really. I took a break today. I did make 2 sims in CAS for a video, so it's not a full day of break or like a full day off, but I wasn't editing because it's been like not great. But yeah, I hope that goes away, and especially when I go back to work, I'm assuming that it will go away because I'm like on my feet all day and doing stuff all day. So yeah, hopefully that kind of counteracts my sitting, because I've been editing and filming for a month, a lot, like way more than I usually do. So that has like impacted me and like my neck a lot, and it's not great, but we just deal with that as best as we can, or I can't. I don't know why I always. It's such a weird habit of mine to be speaking in plural about myself. It's like whenever somebody, or whenever I'm talking to somebody and I'm saying like, I don't know, instead of saying I bought a new car, I'm always saying we bought a new car. Or do you want to come to our place? Meaning me. But I think I'm always including other people when they are not included. Like, I'm including Nemo. And we have we had a good like inside joke with my very old best friend. Like, she's not old, but like for a best friend that I've had for a very long time, that she's always included, like spiritually. So it's just always me and her, even if she's not there. Anyways, I don't know why we're speaking about this. Yes, lighting is very important, and I just haven't, because the ring lights are really, really expensive. I haven't been able to, because I wanted the Elgato one, the normal, the big one like that, the one that Bird has. I'm pretty sure you have the Elgato one. I've been wanting to get that one, but it's 200 euros, and I just don't have that. I just don't. Like, I can't do anything about it except for obviously work more, but I prefer having more time than working more, so I have to live a very cost-effective life, and that includes like big purchases like this. So this was just a huge streak of luck that this was like available, and it was really close to me. The guy lives like 50 minutes from my house, so I could just drive there, check that it works, and then just like pay him and leave. It wasn't even like a big drive or needing to send it in mail or something. So it was like, I don't really believe in fate or anything, but it feels like it was meant to be. I just hope it lasts for a long time. But even if it doesn't, at least we have a couple of great streams. My day is bad, I'm so sorry. I don't want to throw a bomb at you, but it involves animals. I might have an idea, maybe, if that's, if your day is really bad. Yeah, I might guess what's happened. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I hope I can cheer you up a little bit, hopefully. Hi, Singing Bird. Also, I need to shower, but I'll be listening. How do you listen in the shower, though? I can never... I always wish I could listen to music while I shower, because it'll be much more fun. But every time I put my speaker, because it's I have a speaker that can withstand water, so I can have it in the shower. But I need to put it so loud and it echoes so much that I can't like hear what it's playing. Like, obviously I can hear it's playing music, but I can't really fully hear or make out what I'm hearing. So I can never fully actually listen to music while I'm taking a shower. I do too, but the water is too loud in my ears. I can't really use it. Yes, I guessed that, Reski. I'm so sorry. I'm really, really sorry. That is like the worst. That is like the worst thing, apart from obviously a family member passing away. But I consider animals that you have as family members, so for me, losing a pet is the same as losing, like, my mom or somebody like that. So, or any kind of, like, person related to me, so that's a real pity. I'm really sorry. That sucks. It really sucks. The talking one at that, so basically no one greets me anymore. I'm so sorry. Oh my god, now you're making me cry. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's not talk about that, because then I'll cry, and then you'll cry, and then everybody cries. And there is no ice cream. So, instead, let's go into the game. Let me see if it... Yes, you can see the game. Oh, the camera's a little bit... There we go. Oh, is it now too high? I tried to look for used webcams too when I was looking for the ring light, but I couldn't find any, unfortunately. Not anywhere close to me or anything in like my budget. I can't pay the same amount. Wait. Something's wrong. I can't see the... There we go. We need to see these, and Capamon needs to go on top. There we go. What was I saying? Something about webcams. Oh yes. Nothing like... I can't pay for the full price for the webcam as used webcam. So I'll need to keep an eye on that. Oh, you're welcome. You're very welcome. Sending you a huge hug and so much love. Yeah. Kapamon was in front of Monica. We needed to get rid of that. Okay. So, as you can see from the title that I now updated, we are gonna play through, or at least, if not through, some of the... Hold on, let me see if the music is too loud. It's very loud for me. Maybe it's not for you. It's very loud, this game today. Did I like... Let me see audio. Let's do 6. Is that a bit better? Let me see. I think it's okay. Sorry, okay for you. Yeah, we're doing a Lynette's hangout event. And so I'm just gonna quickly
book learning alone is not a...
go see what we need to do for the daily commission, so I get the primogems from them. And let me actually also see if there is... This is 9 days, this isn't... Okay, I think I fully finished the event with the freaking alchemy. It was so hard. I don't know why it was so hard for me to understand what was going on with the alchemy event. And it took me like forever to understand, or to get to the level where I could level up my ingredients because I couldn't get the ingredient leveling up for a very long time, and I needed to take the advanced alchemy exam, and I couldn't get to an not advanced, sorry, intermediate alchemy exam, and I couldn't do it because I had only like level 1 ingredients, so I was like confused, but then I eventually figured out what I needed to do, and then I managed to do it. But it wasn't an easy event. For me, it could be for other people, but for me, I don't know why. It was a bit tricky. Also for Trans Visibility Day, I want to give you a shout out for Paimon voice actor Corinne Boatgren? I don't know how to say that. They're non-binary. Ooh, I didn't know that. That's really cool. Kind of makes sense, because for me, like, I don't know what Paimon is, or, like, I think it's referred as she in the game. I think. I'm not sure. However, Paimon always refers to herself as Paimon. So it could easily be that Paimon is non-binary. Because, like, I don't really know what Paimon is. Because clearly, Paimon is not a human. So, like, she could be anything. Okay. I'm not gonna read these because these are not important. I don't know why this takes forever. It's just for the daily commissions that I wanna do. Where's that? Oh yeah, okay. This way. Oh, we need to make the coffee again. Oh no, no. This is a different place. Yeah, I don't know. I really love listening to or watching videos where people predict or theorize what's going on in Genshin and Genshin lore, and especially with like Paimon and different archons and stuff like that. I really enjoy that. It's really, really cool. And one of my favorite theories is that Tivat is like backwards for real, like, because there are lots of like demon related things in here, like A is called Baal. I'm pretty sure A's other name is Baal, but I could be wrong. I'm sorry if I'm mistaken. And then we have obviously Paimon, and there's some other things that I can't remember. And then there are like the enemies have like angel names, like for example the cubes, the hypostasis, they're all named. I'm pretty sure all of them are named by with an angel name. So we have kind of a juxtaposition. We are quote unquote the good guys, but then everyone's named with a demon's name. So I don't know, I really enjoy the kind of theorizing with that, and like people saying that we're actually playing on the behalf of like the bad guys, and then like it's not black and white, first of all. Oh, I needed to sorry. It's not that black and white, but still like quote unquote bad guys, and then at the end it's gonna be like revealed that we're on the like wrong side or something like that. I don't know how it'll be in the end, but I really enjoy the hello, can you go down? Okay, there we go. He was like, no, I like it on this level. Okay. There. Also, my lips are so dry and I keep biting them. It's so bad. I shouldn't do that. But it annoys me so much. You know when your lips are a little bit dry and chapped and stuff like that? You get kind of the skin. It's a little bit like... It's kind of like coming off in a way. And you can like, when you touch your lips, like either your tongue touches your lips or you like touch your lips together or something like that. You kind of feel that like piece of skin there. It sounds really gross when I'm explaining it like that, but you probably know what I mean. I hate that. It's driving me crazy whenever I have to like... Was there something I needed to pick up or something? I saw something come up, but I don't know what it is. Okay, whatever. Let's just swim on the other side. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyways, it's really, really annoying whenever I get that, because like I just want to chew it out, which is also not great. But it is a pet peeve. Pet peeve? Is that a right word in this context? I'm not sure. Annoying quirk of mine. Okay. What is this? Oh,
A bond is strong. No, my sword. Let me weave you a verse. Everyone hold hands.
Oh, also, if you can hear some kind of weird noises, or whenever my washing machine starts to tumble? Is that the right thing? Like, no, the spin cycle? I don't know. Whatever it's called, like, go really fast, like, yeah, I have my washing machine on, and it didn't manage to work the cycle before I started the stream. So if you hear some banging or like weird stuff, or even the machine itself screaming for dear life, don't mind that. That's just my poor washing machine. Where... What's this? Rolling crossfire. I'm not gonna do events right now, but I'm really intrigued what this is. Oh. Oh, sorry. Is this the one that's 9 days right now? Remote control cannon. These are some kind of researchers or something. Okay, please let me go. We've talked enough. Oh, yeah, okay, it is some kind of... Hello? I think it's this... Where was it? I don't actually know which one it is. Anyways, we're not doing this now. I want to do the hangout event. God, you're able to solve the alchemy quest. No one even gives correct description about it. It was really weird. It was fine. It was... Sometimes it was fun, sometimes more just like a lot of work. Sorry, my nose is running like always. However,
thank you for completing.
It was a little bit hard to understand at times, and it was really long. And you needed to do a lot. We did a little bit of it, I think, on stream. One of the streams, I like started doing some of it. I got the kind of hang of it at some point, but not fully understanding what was going on, so... it was a little bit of a weird one. I enjoyed the like aspect of it, but it was a bit, I don't know. It was interesting. Anyways, let's go and hang out with Lynette. That's what we're doing today. With my little cat ears myself. Which way do we need to go? Fortunately, this will be voiced as well, so that's nice. Also, I can't wait to see your cast. I imagine it's inspired from something. It is actually. Do you want to? I can tell you the theme. I can tell you. If you want, I'll tell you. And there will be another cast video before that one. Lynette is also cat inspired. She is. She's got a full-on tail and ears. I love it when they add like both of them. I find it really weird when they add, for example, we have Kirara. I think that's her name. Kirara, who has 2 tails but no ears. She just has a bow that mimics the cat ears, which is a bit weird. Like, are you a cat human or are you not a cat human? Like, I don't think the tails are fake, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were. I don't know. She's a weird design, I find. But Lynette. It's weird because in my head, in Finnish, you say Lynette. So it's hard to remember sometimes to say Lynette. Lynette is super cute. That's what I wanted to say.
Meow. Oh, it's you. 1 second. Now activating chat mode. You made me jump there.
She's like a robot. I love her for it. I am still convinced that she's actually a robot.
Objectively speaking, the trouble was entirely of my own making. Half an hour ago, I was at Hotel de Boer for a drinks reception. It was to celebrate the successful opening of a show, but it was draining my energy. So, I waited for the right moment, then snuck away so I could switch to standby mode.
Oh my god, that's so relatable. I don't think it as a, like, I don't say to myself it's standby mode, but this is what I do too. Like, I have a point. It's so funny because it's so clear, like clear as day. I'm out and about or with my friends or with family or whatever. Everything will be fine and dandy and I'll be eating my food or like conversing with people, and then like it's like a switch that goes off and I'm like, I'm done. It's so funny, and then I just go quiet, and at some point I like realize like, okay, there's no going back from this. You're right, it is Stardew Valley. You'll see, you'll see. It's not what I originally had in mind. Originally my idea was to do everyone on the valley, because I really love all the characters, but now I realize that I just don't have the time to be making like, I don't even know how many characters, but like 25 different characters. So I switched to less of the number, and you can probably guess which ones I did or will be doing. I've only done 3 of them so far. I see. So they sent someone to find you and bring you back?
Probably because I'm playing the lead role in the show. Is that so surprising? I'm always getting invitations to do solo performances. I just usually get Linny to write back and turn them down. But then came the Fontanalia Film Festival. We took all the kids from the House of the Hearth out to see a film, and after it finished, they all started clamoring for me to try out acting for some reason. Even Linny was chanting along with them. Anyway, it just so happened that a director called Mary who had sent me an invitation right around then. I'll spare you the details, but basically, I ended up accepting it.
She talks like me. We just, like 2 days ago, talked about this with Bird. Because I was really annoyed at my own voice when I was editing or something, doing something with, or like listening back to something I was, yes, editing anyways. And it really bugs me that it's hard for me to sound excited and happy. Like if you only have my voice, like no face cam, it's hard for my tone to be and remain excited. Obviously it's gonna be excited if I'm doing something really exciting, like something surprising happens, I'm like, oh my god, of course that's gonna be different. But when I'm talking like normally, like this, like da 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 da, I'm really monotone, and that comes from like living in Finland, obviously, and speaking in Finnish. We're really monotone. We don't have any intonation in our speaking. I could be talking like this all the time, and that would be completely fine. Like seriously, we have no intonation. So it's been like I'm better now because I speak and have spoken many languages, and because I speak in English so much and I listen to and read English so much. Well, reading doesn't really help, but especially like listening to it, that it's been better. But still, even though I do emphasize different words and my tone goes up and down, it still sounds like the way I pronounce words sounds sometimes like sad or unexcited in my, like when I hear it back. And I was so like annoyed with it, and then I was like talking about it with Bird, and she was like understanding, and well, she has like her experience is very similar. But this is like making me like laugh because like I could be Lynette. I could literally change my name and be Lynette. Not as cute and not as like perfect, but with like how she speaks, it's like the same. You could not tell us apart. Your play of Stardew Valley is so good. You're voicing all the characters. Yes, I really enjoyed playing Stardew Valley on my channel, but it was just not doing very well. It's not you can't really do many things in one channel on YouTube. It's already difficult to do many games on Twitch, but it's not as difficult. Sorry, my nose is like running and itching, and I keep like touching it. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I just decided that it's not gonna. I'll just stick on Sims, and if I want to do something else, I do it on another platform. I mean, about you and Lynette's similarities. Yes. Okay. So this is a dramatic debut of the magician's puppet.
Yep, you nailed it. I'm playing the role of a puppet.
Not hard to believe.
In fact, the show's called The Lost Puppet, and it's a masked mime show. So I don't have to do any facial expressions or say any lines. Literally just a series of physical movements. The director says it's a very avant-garde art form. Art is not comprehended by the mind, but felt in the heart. At least, that's what the director says. Anyway, if nothing else, the opening performance seemed to go down well. At the drinks reception, everyone was crowding around me, saying, "Triumphant character portrayal, faithful adaptation of the original work, unequivocally, quintessentially avant-garde," and stuff like that. But being the center of attention is draining. So the moment they left me to go harass the director instead, I was out of there.
For once, you weren't able to use Linny as a human
The other
shield.
thing is, some weird things happened while I was on the stage. Oh, sorry, Bonnie. I didn't mean to leave you out of the conversation. My bad. No, we just met. We bumped into each other right after I slipped away. Well, it'd be kind of difficult for us to communicate otherwise. Besides, I think she's taken a liking to the name. Haven't you, Bonnie?
Aw, that's so cute.
Yeah, that's right. Good kitty. We'll go find your owner soon, I promise. Nope. She's wearing a collar, and for the most part, she's pretty well groomed. If she is a stray, she hasn't been for long. Her stomach's been growling a lot. I guess she must have been missing for a few days now. As much as I'd love to hang out with her for a while longer, her owner's probably worried sick about her. Assuming she has an owner, that is. But the reception... I should probably show my face there again at some point. Even if it's just to make excuses and leave again. Decision time.
Yes, they both wear bows.
Well, I just find it exhausting. Thinking through all the different ramifications of different choices and so on. That's more Lenny's area than mine. So, unless it's something really important, I usually just leave the decision making to him.
I actually just now realized that she has 2 bows, like, on her, like, shoulder plate. I've never, like, seen that. Sorry, I thought I heard something, but nothing. He's not here when you need him.
It's fine. He got Fremonade to make me a little something for just this situation. Poof! A phaetometer. It looks pretty over the top, I know, but it's essentially just a box of cards. He kept the design simple, so it'd be harder to break. The way it works is, I pick a card at random, then look at the number on the card. Well, for example, if the number on the card is 5 or higher, I help Bonnie find her owner. If it's less than 5, I go back to the reception. I just have to believe in the bond between me and my cards, and my fate will reveal itself to me in numerical form.
Like tarot.
At least, that's what Lenny said. Anyway, I guess I'll give you a demonstration. Huh, I didn't like that. Was I using it wrong? Maybe if I just... Clearly, there's some design flaws to iron out. I'll have to let Fremonade know. Let's see... Which card did I get? 4.
No helping Bonnie.
The cards fell on the ground though, so I don't think it counts as fate.
Actually, I don't know where I heard this, but it's like a very long time. Could have been like online too, anyways. But somebody somewhere said that tossing a coin is a really good way to figure out like what you want to do if in this kind of situation that you have 2 options that you're not sure which one to go for. If it's like a situation you can toss a coin for, obviously. But the point is that the point is not to toss the coin and pick that one, but the point is that usually if you care at all about the situation or whatever you're making the decision for, when you are tossing the coin, you oftentimes feel like, oh, I need, or I want it to land on this side. Like you've already made a decision kind of, because you hope for a result. Or in this case, for example, she was disappointed that she got the 4, so the number that she didn't like want. So it's also a decision. You don't have to stick to this decision because now you kind of also made a decision because you were disappointed, which means that you wanted to do the other thing. I think that's a really cool thing. So sometimes when I'm like really struggling on something, I might toss a coin and see how my reaction changes, like what happens to my thoughts when I'm tossing the coin, not what happens to the coin. It's just a fun little
If you want to
thing.
get the right answer, you have to let fate decide. Also something Lenny said.
Or you can just decide yourself.
So, to put it another way, if picking a card up off the ground is how to not leave it to fate, then that means it must be the wrong answer. Or why don't you pick a card? since I ran into you here, that means our fates are, like, interfering with each other.
Okay, I'll do it for you.
Thank you.
It's fine.
Here, take the fatometer. If it's 5 or above, that means fate successfully changed. And also, if you have your own thoughts about what I should do, feel free to share it. Now that I've got a good problem solver here to help, I don't need to run every little thing by fate.
Okay, I have a feeling that we can do all of them. But I think that she was so disappointed that we should just help Bonnie.
So, we're looking for Bonnie's owner?
How do you plan to find Bonnie's owner?
I think I'll go to the Steambird and see about putting an ad in the paper. You want to come along? I think Bonnie wants you to come with.
If it means I get to hang out with you a bit longer. Aww, especially the kitty! I don't know where my kitty is. I think he's in his new favorite place. In the sauna. I put a little blanket on top of one of the sauna, like, benches, and now that's his favorite thing. He's always there. When I can't find him,
Every stupendous day
he's
starts with a
always there.
Steambird. Oh, hi Lynette. Hi Traveler. What can I help you with?
We wanted to ask about the latest Tales of Humanity. Any commissions is in there about a missing cat? Yes.
I don't think so.
Yep. If there's no commission to follow up on, could we post a notice about the missing cat instead?
Why, of course. What a kind thing to do. Just fill out the form.
Aww, the kitty's so
Well,
cute.
We've registered you as missing. You can stay at my place until your owner finds you. Also, I just wanted to say thanks for keeping us company for so long. Well, I should probably head back to the drinks reception. Hopefully most of the people have left by now. If you've got some time, you should stop by my place tomorrow to see Bonnie. There's a nice cup of tea in it for you.
Oh, now I want
Alright.
tea.
See you then.
I might actually take a teeny tiny break between the next part and this, like, when we finish this brunch, and make myself a cup of tea. I got 3 new I wish smell-o-vision was a thing, because I got 3 new teas and they're so they smell so good. They're so good. I'm so obsessed with them.
Wait.
Oh no, I went over. I need to pay more, like, attention to the time. Oh my goodness. I do this every time. I hydrate. Thank you. Nemo befriend. Yeah. It is a Steambird. Steambird, Charlotte works. Yes, Charlotte works for Steambird. That's true. But it's a whole, like, journal-y thingy, so there's lots of other people working for it as well.
I believe this cat belongs to me.
I already told you, this isn't your cat.
Just take a breather, you two.
The cat probably knows who is their owner, though.
Oh, you're here. As you can probably see, you'll have to take a rain check on that tea I promised you.
This is my friend's cat. He's preoccupied with some important business, so I came to retrieve her in his stead.
Passive checks are a special type of checks that need not to be actively triggered, but instead would automatically trigger at specific times. If you pass, you will find some hidden information such as irregularities in a person's attitude or certain incongruous details. I don't understand what that means. Insight check success. It didn't let me read that. Love that. The way she speaks is loud and authoritative. It's like She's deliberately using her tone of voice to dispel any doubts about her integrity.
No. It's far more likely this cat escaped from the Humane Society. Bonnie?
That's the name I've given her in the meantime.
Animal handling. Let's see who Bonnie decides to approach. The random checks triggered by the Fatometer often serve as indicators for destiny's course or the success or failure of an action. Press to draw a card and get a random number between 1 to 20. If the number displayed is greater than or equal to the check difficulty, you will pass this check, otherwise you will fail it. I don't understand. I still don't understand. Adequate preparation and friendly age can sometimes affect the results of these checks. Your current check bonuses will be added to your randomly drawn number, making easier to pass checks. This one. 2. Check failed. I don't understand what the fail and pass is. That part of this, I have no idea what's going on. So it's just,
Well,
okay, I still don't understand. I didn't think she'd be so attached to you. This is no way to tell who her owner is. Maybe she's attached to her.
I told you before. This is my friend's cat. It's
that's
normal
if
for her
it-
not to trust me.
Exactly. And also, it's neither it is the guy there. It's not his cat either. He said that it escaped the human society. It's a whole place with lots of people.
Listen, I'm the director of the Humane Society, okay? We've got so many strays, dogs, cats, you name it. I'm not even the one feeding them most of the time. She just looked somewhat familiar, so I came to check, just in case. If she turns out to be one of ours, I'll take her back. Simple as that. Even if that's not the case, the Humane Society could still take her in. We're an organization that specializes in rescuing and sheltering stray animals. We've been in business for several decades now. I'm Bernard, the current director.
I hope this is a good place because that sounds so
The
nice.
Humane Society. Huh. The name sounds familiar. I remember hearing good things. You're the one in the Quartier Lyonnais?
Yes, that's the one. Anyway, if it's not too much trouble, could I possibly take a closer look at the cat?
You should probably have some kind of mark in the cat if it's yours, like a
If it
specific
turns out
colored
I really
collar
am
or
mistaken,
something.
I suppose that means the cat belongs to this lady here. She would be the only remaining option after all.
It belongs to my friend.
Go on, Bonnie.
Oh, nope. Looks like I was mistaken. They do look similar, but there's an ever so slight difference in this one's fur color. Deepest apologies, friends. Well, I suppose this means I still have a missing cat to search for. Apologies again for the confusion.
Oh, yes, exactly.
She's not very convincing though. Even Lynette wants to go tea party. Yes, so you need to find higher than 8? Something like that, but I don't
Wait a
know
second.
why.
You lied earlier, didn't you?
Lied? I'm afraid I don't know what you mean.
She's weird. Yeah, he was nice.
A liar always has a tell. The look in their eyes, their breathing pattern, the way they hold themselves. The things that can give you away are often more numerous than you would think.
What are you talking about? The way I see it, you're conflating baseless conjecture with fact.
Normally, when someone is called out, their breathing speeds up as they begin to panic. But your breathing pattern hasn't changed one bit. In fact, it's been strangely calm and measured this entire time. It stands to reason, then, that your agitated behavior earlier was all an act. If you're a bad guy, I'm sure you'll take off running the first chance you get. If you're a good guy, the most likely explanation is that you're a member of the Guards, or some similar organization.
And you're basing this off of?
Intuition. Nothing more.
Intuition. Well, I have to hand it to you, Lynette. You're right. I'm a member of the guards. The name's Elodie. I'm currently investigating a cross-border smuggling case. This cat here, Bonnie was her name? Well, her owner is one of the prime suspects of our investigation. A couple of days ago, our suspect got wind that we were on his tail and fled. That's most likely how he got separated from the cat. I just so happened to stumble upon your notice in the Steambird. So, I decided to see if he'd come back for her. But it looks like I overestimated him. The impact of this case has been huge. The Marechaussee Phantom, the guards, and the Special Patrol have all launched investigations. If there was even the slightest chance that he would show himself, I had to follow up on the lead.
I always get so hot before the stream, or at the start of the stream, and then I get cold after that. I don't know why that is. But that's just how it is. And I promise you, in a couple... Oh my god. Hello. I gotta close the door because Nemo came out, sorry. Yes. Yes. The washing machine is so loud. I don't want it to be heard on stream. Do you want to come sit here? Nemo. Tule tänne. Yes. Tule tänne, tule. Hyppä siihen. No niin. Heippa pieni poika. Come say hi to people. They're over there. We have Nemo in the house. Trying to eat my finger. Okay.
A new kind of illegal drug. Imitation synth. We confiscated all the synth on the market, but addiction isn't something that goes away overnight.
Nope.
Even without substances on the market, people are still looking for a way to get their next fix. And criminals are all too eager to capitalize on that addiction. That was the impetus for imitation synth. Needless to say, a small-scale market opened up very quickly. After the original synth debacle, we put several measures into place to prevent similar incidents from occurring. The perpetrators got smart, though, and shifted their sales overseas before those measures could kick in. That's when the imitation synth smuggling began. We only recently got word of the presence of imitation synth overseas. We managed to track down evidence of some early transactions. What we were able to find out, however, hasn't proven that useful given the amount of time that has passed. The Marechaussee Phantom launched an investigation to track down every person in Fontaine capable of producing a drug like that. That's how we learned about Bonnie's owner.
Okay.
He's a researcher at the Fontaine Research Institute. His name is Pierre. Pierre Lafayette, to be exact.
Pierre Lafayette.
Lafayette.
She knows him. A dread just crossed Lynette's face. Strange, she usually schools her expressions with mechanical precision.
The Marechaussee Phantom found him in Poisson. In addition to the cat, he also had a pendant with him.
A pendant with a sword and a snake. Interesting.
At first, there wasn't much cause for suspicion. A search of his house didn't reveal much to go off of either. The Marechaussee Phantom very nearly left it at that.
Well, the Marechaussee Phantom is kind of like the police force in Fontaine. So when it crime is concerned, they are the ones to investigate it. Then the guards are more like crowd control or something like that.
It was only later that we realized the coat of arms on his pendant belonged to none other than the Lafayette family, one of the most infamous aristocratic families in Fontaine. Obviously, this discovery prompted a further investigation into Pierre. At that point, however, we discovered that he'd already fled. Now the guards and the Special Patrol are all searching for him.
Could his family be hiding
That's
him?
not possible, actually. The Lafayette family... has been gone for a long time.
Interesting.
Exactly. Many years ago, several important members of the family, including the patriarch, were murdered by an assassin of unknown origin. From that point on, family's power and influence took quite the hit. The family is engaged in all manner of crimes. As you can imagine, there's no shortage of people waiting in the wings to take their revenge. And with the family severely weakened, they were able to do just that. Most of the remaining family members succumbed to sickness or hunger. The ones that survived are currently living out their days under a new identity. Pierre is one of those very survivors. He's been hiding away in the Fontaine Research Institute all these years. His true identity unbeknownst to all. Until now, that is.
Is it really okay to share all this information with us?
Well, my fellow guards have told me all about how smart and courageous you both are. And I know you possess a strong sense of justice.
That is true.
There could be a chance that Pierre, or one of his accomplices, might attempt to get close to Bonnie. Now that you've been briefed on the situation, I was hoping you'd help us keep a lookout.
Ooh, we get to work on...
If I take Bonnie back to the
With
guards
them.
with me, there's no way Pierre will try and come for her. Not even the most daring of criminals would attempt something like that. I have to admit, I'm not holding out too much hope that Pierre will come back for her. But if there's even the slightest chance, then it's worth a shot. Well, I've got some other leads to follow up on. If Pierre does appear, please contact me right away.
Cool. Of course, if Isa's sense of justice not strong, no way Novelette wants to hang out with her. True. Okay. What's wrong?
It's nothing. It's just
It's not nothing.
the head of the Lefebvre family. He was the
Oh.
eminent person who kidnapped me all those years ago. It was at a dinner party. Someone tricked me into boarding the Lefebvre family carriage. Whoever it was, they took me back to their home. But before anything worse could happen, Father intervened. Yep. Father was the one who orchestrated the fall of the Lefebvre family. That's what led Lenny and I to join the House of the Hearth. After all these years. I never thought I'd hear the Lefebvre name again.
That must be hard, though. Like, that's such a traumatic event. And then having to revisit it like this.
Don't worry about me. I wasn't feeling sorry for myself. I was just thinking about Lenny. He's been acting strange recently. He avoids me for days on end, consumes himself with some secret investigation, and then out of the blue pushes me to do that acting job. Thinking about it now, it's almost like the one I drew from that deck of cards was part of his plan all along. He must have asked Fermine to help him out. In any case, I know he's hiding something from me. He's really pulled out all the stops this time. It's very possible. I'm sure he tried to send me away because he was afraid it would bring up some painful memories for me. It wasn't necessary, though. Even after all these years, he's still as overprotective as ever.
I can understand, though. It's... I wouldn't meddle in her business like that. Like, I wouldn't control her like that. But I can understand Lenny wanting to, like, go to some lengths to protect her.
You'll have to help me teach him a lesson if we run into him along the way. Yep. I want to head to the Fontaine Research Institute to learn more information about Pierre. Just let me activate search mode and then we'll head out. Who knows? Maybe we'll run into Lenny along the way.
Are you trying to help out Lenny with his investigation, or are you trying to prove yourself?
A little bit of both, perhaps. For the most part, though, I just have the sense that something's not right. Something isn't adding up about Pierre's story. I'm just not sure what.
Well, I also want to know what secrets he's hiding. Sometimes you've just got to take the bully by the horns, right?
Okay, I'll write a letter explaining everything to the crew. Once that's done, we can head out.
All right. Where are we going? Is it? Yeah, it's far. Okay. There we go. Linny and
Lynette,
Chevreuse.
You're, not at rehearsal?
You can drop the act, brother. In fact, I don't think either of us will have a need for acting anytime soon. You should know better than to try and keep something from me. You've never been able to do that, even when we were kids.
And that's why I tried to distract you with the masked mime show. But I guess you're just too good.
Care to introduce us to your new assistant?
This is Officer Shovras, captain of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol. You may have met her already.
It's an honor to meet you. I have to admit, I'm quite familiar with both of you already. I should clarify something. Mr. Linney's here at my invitation, not the other way around. To borrow your expression, Miss Lynette, I suppose that would make him my assistant more than anything.
I didn't realize that she's got an eye patch. I haven't really looked at her though, like too much. She has an interesting design actually, and I like these like that you put in your on your ears to like not hurt your ears, because she has a gun kind of, so that makes a lot of sense.
We've brought on Mr. Linney as a consultant in the past.
I love the gloves.
He was instrumental in helping us crack a case involving a perpetrator who used magic tricks to commit crimes.
Oh, I remember that.
I was hoping he'd be able to provide some valuable insight this time around as well.
So you've heard everything then?
That's exactly why we're here. There's always been questions surrounding the fall of the Lefebvre family. Some people even believe the House of the Hearth was involved.
Some people believe.
Whoever was behind it all was extremely cautious. They didn't leave a shred of evidence. This very fact, however, leads me to believe it was indeed the work of that harbinger. I took a look at the entrance and exit records of all the carriages that night. Let's just say it wasn't hard to deduce that there's ill will between you two. Don't worry, I don't have any evidence to that effect, and I certainly don't plan on going to bat for such a despicable family. Plus, you were victims back then more than anything. I sought Mr. Linney's help with the smuggling case. Nothing more.
You're really teaming up with the House of the Hearth?
The way I look at it, it's a collaboration between us as people, not the organizations we represent. Besides, by working together, we can expose the truth as quickly as possible. You can hardly say that's at odds with the justice my organization strives for.
I'm assuming you wouldn't be opposed to some extra help?
Not at all. I was planning to invite you from the very beginning, Miss Lynette. It's just that my assistant here raised some objections.
Linny, I'm not the same person I was back then. That little girl who did nothing but cower in the corner in fear. She doesn't need saving anymore.
But little sisters don't stay little forever. That's true.
I'm sorry, Lynette. You're right. I let my concerns get the better of me.
I'm sorry. Hope I didn't smudge on my makeup, but my eye is so itchy. I don't know why.
Oh, and the next time you want to distract me, you should try a different approach.
Who's this? You pick up a stray while I was gone?
It's a bit complicated. I'll explain later. Anyway, her name's Bonnie.
Well, if there are no objections, then I suppose the only thing left to say is... Lynette, Traveler, welcome to the team.
Thank you.
It appears the Lefebvre family was very particular in their use of insignias and emblems. The family would use different emblems to mark differences in status, blood relation, and the like. In fact, the insignia that was discovered on the pendant was used to represent an illegitimate child.
Oh. It's so weird to see this word used in the game with no swearing. Because that's a swear word as well. That's so bizarre.
It's highly likely. That very status might have been what allowed him to emerge from the fall of his family relatively unscathed. It would also explain why he was able to assume a new identity as a researcher with relative ease.
We discovered something interesting, though. After talking to some of his co-workers, it appears he pretty much works at the Institute in name only. He's practically been cast out.
Apparently, Pierre was once addicted to synth. He tried to use the resources at the Institute to create a substance with a similar effect. He claimed it was just for research purposes, but the Institute revoked his access to the relevant materials regardless. He was placed on disciplinary leave, pending a thorough investigation of his actions. But it seems the Institute ran into some trouble along the way. Could have been a lack of personnel or a timing issue. In any case, they had to table their formal investigation into Pierre. Unfortunately, that also included reporting any relevant information to the higher authorities. As for his family background, it appears none of his co-workers at the Institute were aware of that information. All they could tell us was that he was quite the recluse.
Maybe we'll have to take our investigation elsewhere then? Did you find anything useful at his residence?
Other than the pendant, we didn't find anything else of note at his residence in Poisson.
Yes! Hi, dude in the back. It does work really well. It's actually really, really good. And this is only the dimmest setting. So it can go a lot brighter than this, but then I'll be blinded. So it's really good. Yes, it is the first time I'm also seeing Chevreuse like close like this.
Based on the samples of imitation synth we've been able to analyze, it appears the substance leaves behind strong traces wherever it's produced or stored. Those traces might not be obvious to the casual observer, but they're not something our guard poodles would miss. Pierre's home, though, came up completely clean. We didn't find any records indicating possible involvement in overseas transactions either. So, the Marechaussee Phantom didn't view him as a major suspect at first.
Maybe he had a separate, dedicated area where he made the imitation synth.
Well, his neighbors did say he was often gone for long stretches of time. You would think with him out and about so much, people would have spotted him around Poisson, but residents said they barely ever saw him in town. If his reclusive nature was just a matter of keeping a low profile, I guess it would make sense for him to have a secret base to carry out his business.
After he disappeared, the guards conducted a thorough search of Poisson, but they didn't come across any suspicious locations.
Poisson. You know Hotel de Boer, where I first found Bonnie? To get there from Poisson, you have to cross a stretch of ocean. It's not somewhere a cat could just wander off on its own.
A cat?
Bonnie is Pierre's cat.
Oh, that's right! When the Marechaussee Phantom first tracked him down, I remember there being something about a cat in their report. So
I like
this is her?
Chevreuse.
From what we've learned about Pierre's habits, he doesn't seem like the type to venture out without a purpose. So what you're saying, Lynette, is that Bonnie couldn't have gone missing in Poisson. If that's true, then...
Exactly. Bonnie might even know where it is.
Wait, you think the cat can lead us there? But she's not trained like one of our guard poodles. How is she supposed to understand what we want her to do?
I'm not having the best luck with this. Maybe Lynette can
Meow.
try.
Meow meow. Meow?
Bonnie seems to understand what you want her to do. She flicks her tail.
Near the coast, the beach, and beneath the cliffs. The place we're looking for is most likely north of the Court of Fontaine.
Well, I've certainly never taken a witness statement like this before.
Well, if it works out, maybe it's something worth getting used to.
Cats and
Aw,
humans
Linny,
are
I love
actually
Linny
pretty
so
alike.
much as well.
When
He's
it
such
comes
a
to
cute.
communication, most of what we want to convey can be accomplished through body language alone. But humans tend to rely too much on speech to ever take advantage of that fact. Of course, body language has its limitations. You're not going to be able to get across anything too complicated.
The important thing is that we now have a lead. Let's try and find a place that matches the clues Bonnie gave us.
Okay. Near a beach. Oh, it gives us the location. Never mind then. No. Near a beach on the north side. That's exactly right. Let me see through my fact book about cat Lynette. This way.
Seems like Bonnie is trying to take us somewhere.
Are we following the cat? Please. Yes, we're following the cat. Oh my god, this is amazing. Look at me go. Look at me go with the cat. Oh no. Oh, I have the wrong.
Out of my way!
I hate when the in hangout events and other events like these. I hate it when it like zooms in. Because I'm always like, it messes up with my like what I'm doing, because I can't like move the same way that I'm normally able to. It's really annoying. And now everything is like out of sync. And my rotation is out of sync too. These are some aggressive folk.
Scatter.
There we go. Where do we go? Oh, this. The kitty is here. Look at it. Hello, Bonnie. So cute.
Wow, Lynette, you found this place so easily. If I thought there was any chance you'd say yes, I'd recruit you into the Special Patrol here and now. No questions asked.
Sounds familiar. I pretty much receive letters daily from people trying to poach her from me.
Let's just focus on our search. There's a lot to investigate.
You're so special. Everyone wants you. Okay. I should have her in my party. Why am I so slow today? Where is my... There we go. Switch to Lynette.
Time for afternoon tea.
Yes. She's so cute. Look at her. She's so freaking cute. Hello? Why can I not? Okay, there we go.
Aha! Just as we thought. This is where the imitation synth was being made.
These bottles and jars, they're all imitation
Looks
synths?
like he's got more than just imitation synths stashed around here. In addition to the raw materials needed to synthesize the substance itself, there's a large quantity of cleaning agents and a few drugs I haven't been able to identify. These cleaning agents are likely used to dispel traces of the substance, like its smell. The Special Patrol did some digging into imitation synth. Our records indicate that it's very difficult for ordinary people to detect traces left behind by the stuff. I'm sure that was the case for Pierre as well. It must have taken a considerable amount of time and skill to ensure all those traces get washed away. But what are these other drugs for?
And they're all just out in the open. Like, that's so funny.
The material these bags are made of, it's quite rare.
Doesn't it look similar to the material used for your magic pockets?
It's the very same, actually. Romaritime flower fiber. But there's something special about the composition of these bags. I took a closer look, and it appears they're not only waterproof, but also corrosion and leak resistant. Even the strings look specially designed to keep the bags closed nice and tight. I came across some bags made of the same material just now, but they were much smaller and thinner. From the look of them, they seemed far less durable as well. Very similar, actually. Normally, it would be easy for a guard poodle to sniff out the imitation synth, but if it was sealed away in a bag like that, it might be possible to elude detection for some time. But what could these big bags be for then? If the goal is to keep the imitation synth hidden and sealed away, these bags seem a bit too conspicuous.
I don't know. Oh, Lynette is here. With the kitty.
When the Marechaussee Phantom searched Pierre's house, there was no sign of these barrels, right?
He must have moved them, but carrying them all the way out here would attract way too much attention.
You're right. That doesn't seem like his way of doing things. How did he get them here then?
The barrels show signs of water damage. Dried up water stains can be seen around the circumference of the barrels. Seem to be patterned to the location of the water stains. For some reason they appear to be limited to the lower half of the barrels. Lids don't seem very tight, leaving sizable gaps around the edges, but there doesn't appear to be any traces of water inside the barrels.
Only the lower halves of the barrels appear to have been submerged in water.
Based on the various ingredients we've found, this appears to be where Pierre was cooking up his imitation synth. It looks like he used a special cleaning agent to get rid of any residual traces of the substance on his person before he left. That's how he was able to get past the guard poodles.
That's why the Marchese Phantom didn't find anything suspicious in his home.
So then he transferred the imitation synth into small sealed bags and took it somewhere else for the drop-off.
No. I don't believe our suspect is the kind of person who'd go around carrying incriminating evidence with him. That would potentially create too many eyewitnesses. The cleaning agent and the sealed bags might get past the guard poodles. But if a member of the public or even a guard on patrol happened to see him during the drop-off, a quick search would reveal everything. That's still a very risky operation.
What about if the drop-off happened at sea? There'd be no one around to
The barrels
see
we
him.
found were wet around the base, but the top half was dry. As if they'd been standing upright in the water.
Yeah, I understand.
If you put a barrel in the water, it will normally float on its side. Unless it's heavily loaded, in which case it'll sink.
He must have used something to tightly seal big bags full of air, turning them into airtight floating devices.
With flotation rings around the body of the barrels, they'd stay upright in the water. And then he could afford to load them more fully.
You think he used floating barrels? I suppose if he acted at night, when there are very few other boats around and visibility is low, it's a valid theory. We can't rule it out.
But then, wouldn't the barrels be carried off by the waves or the currents? How would the person doing the pickup know where to look?
Barrels that could float away and get lost at sea sounds difficult to keep in one place, kind of like certain pets.
Traveler, can you come take a dip in the sea with me? I have a feeling that somewhere down there, we might find some rope. If a rope can be used to keep a pet from running away, then why not a barrel?
Okay. I wish they did a cool jump. Oh, sorry. Cool jump into the ocean as well as how they do a jump out of the ocean.
The wreckage of a small boat?
Maybe he walked
This isn't
below the
place.
sea with the boat and an air pocket.
This isn't the place.
Then why are you telling me to go here? Is it up above the water? No. I don't understand. Oh no. Oof! I hate these. I don't want to fight you. Do I have to fight them? Okay, I'm just gonna die so I get teleported out of here. I hate that when you have to fight below the water, you have like 2 HP. Like, you can't withstand any damage. It's so frustrating. I really don't like it. Like, if I'm getting damage above ground, my damage is like that much. When I go below, it's that much. Like, how does that make any sense? I just don't understand. How do I, like, I think I need to, like, jump. Because otherwise I'm gonna be... And now I'm on the wrong character too. How dare you switch off from Lynette and now I'm not doing any cool jumps because of that. Sometimes this game makes me so mad. Okay, I saw something here. But it, yeah, instantly we're like...
Time to go up and report.
I absolutely hate fighting below water. Like, it's the worst thing in this game. It's the first most annoying thing in this whole game is fighting below water. I will do anything, even
As expected, we found a few pieces of rope
TGC,
and some
whatever
anchoring
it's called,
stones
the
underwater.
card game,
If you
before
attach
I do
them to a
that.
floating barrel, it would look like this. With this anchoring system, it would be possible to use floating barrels for the drop-off. You would just need to drop them in the water at the agreed-upon location. We also came across the wreckage of a small boat. It must have been left out on the water and capsized due to the force of the wind and waves. Its small size, however, would have made it perfect for staying undetected.
Let's talk this through. Based on the evidence we've collected, it seems like Pierre would row a small boat out to the agreed-upon transfer point, drop off the barrels, leave, and then row back and retrieve them after the transfer was complete.
Why use such a convoluted drop-off method though? Look! Rescue, it's your favorite word. Wouldn't it be easier for both parties to meet up at the transfer point on their respective vessels and exchange the goods right there and then?
It could be that he was trying to avoid meeting up with his associate face to face. As one of the sole survivors of the Lefebvre family, maybe he was just used to that sort of elusive lifestyle.
It seems like Pierre deliberately chose the floating barrel method so that the goods could be dropped off and picked up at separate times. That way, the two parties wouldn't have to meet each other.
Well, if that's the case, they must not have a very close working relationship.
Let's not jump to any conclusions just yet. Assumptions can be detrimental to solving a case. It's possible they were just trying to keep a low profile. Two boats sailing to the same location at once could be too conspicuous. The most important thing is that we can now confirm Pierre wasn't acting alone. The floating barrel drop-off system is proof enough of that. Let's say for now that he was only in charge of producing the imitation synth. That would mean there has to be at least one other person involved in the operation, likely in charge of transporting the goods across the border.
That explains why we couldn't find evidence linking him to any overseas operations.
Since we've determined that the goods were transported by boat, maybe we can track down some travel logs or something.
We can certainly check the various ports for that information. It's possible, however, that Pierre's associate also used a small boat for the transport, and docked along the shore rather than at a large port. If that's the case, it's unlikely there would be any record left behind. Absolutely. Before Pierre disappeared, we made sure to investigate all sorts of outward-bound vessels. We also had port authorities keep a lookout for anything suspicious. Unfortunately, we were never able to find out how they managed to get the imitation synth across the border.
A small boat and a few barrels isn't going to get you very far.
You're right. Whatever vessel was used for the pickup, the person responsible for smuggling the substance out of Fontaine would have had to use a larger vessel for the actual transport. That's the only way they would be able to smuggle on a large enough scale to make a profit. They must have found a way to disguise the imitation synth to clear port inspections.
Even if we can't find any travel logs, we can still search for other clues.
Exactly. We can't let any opportunities slip through the cracks. Although, given the amount of ports that could be involved, we should probably split up.
I'll run home and ask some of my brothers and sisters to try and dig up some information.
I should also head back and update my platoon on our progress. I'll grab some reinforcements while I'm at it. Lynette, Traveler, why don't you head to Lumiduce Harbor and see what you can find out?
All right. Come on, Bonnie.
Bonnie's coming with us. It's so cute. Okay. I think it's gonna be a long way. Yep. So let's teleport. Okay. So we needed to investigate? Do something.
Oh, Lynette, Traveler.
Oh, it's the
And
same
Bonnie,
woman.
too. What brings you all here?
Did something happen?
You update them on the situation.
Oh. I see. Thank you for everything you're doing for the people of Fontaine. I'm in charge of guarding the port. You mentioned you were after some travelogues, right? I can go fetch those for you.
She has a weird accent. I don't know
Looks
which
like I've got
that
another
one
hard
is.
day of work ahead of me. No, not usually. It's this incident that happened recently. Before that, everything was normal. All we had to do was confiscate anything suspicious and we could call it a day. Pretty simple stuff. But things are much more complicated now. We somehow let suspicious cargo pass through the port undetected. Not even our guard poodles were able to sniff it out. Even worse, we still don't know how the perpetrator was able to conceal the goods so well.
Sounds very
By suspicious cargo, do you mean imitation synth?
Yep.
Yep. However, prohibited substances are just one example. We confiscate all sorts of contraband during the course of our inspections. Or at least, we're supposed to.
So what happens to the goods you confiscate?
Oh, we keep them in a storage locker. If they turn out to be something particularly dubious, we'll turn them over to the Maison Orderly. If the goods are only slightly suspicious but could otherwise be harmless, like raw materials that could potentially be used to create contraband, we return them to the ship they were confiscated from, instead of letting them pass through the port.
Sorry for the wait. These are the travelogues for all the recent activity at the port.
Oh, you brought Gerard with you.
Actually, he followed me here himself. It's like he smells something on me. Huh. I wonder why Gerard is reacting to you two so strongly.
Whatever Gerard smelled on you probably came from us.
Huh? We were so careful not to touch it, but we still ended up with traces on us. If it leaves a residue so easily, I just don't understand how the culprit was able to disguise the goods at all.
Why don't you have a look at the travel logs first? All ships coming in and out of the port are recorded here, except for the ones the port authorities ride to and from work.
You flip through the numerous travel logs, you notice several instances where the Humane Society is listed. The name really seems to stand out. It's always too good to be true.
The Humane Society. Their name is all over the exit logs.
That's why they were looking for the
purpose
cat.
leaving is always listed as overseas adoption.
Ah, the director of the organization explained that actually. He said a lot of the cat and dog breeds unique to Fontaine are also very popular overseas. So his organization offers an overseas adoption program.
Bernard, the director of the Humane Society, was the man who came looking for Bonnie earlier.
It seemed as if Bernard was also hiding something. He seemed so insistent, but only ran a cursory check before just leaving like that. When he came looking for Bonnie earlier, what if he wasn't actually there to check if Bonnie was his missing cat? Maybe he was there for some other purpose.
Have you figured it out too, Traveler? The way the criminal disguised the goods? When Bernard asked to take a closer look at Bonnie, he was actually checking whether there was any imitation synth in her stomach.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
The sealed bags we found at the secret base. They were specially made to be corrosion resistant.
There were gaps around the lids of the barrels, and
Oh
airbags
no.
were used to keep them upright in the water. Those drug shovers found at the secret base. She most likely didn't recognize them because they're not used on human beings. It's an anesthetic used on pets. The perpetrator must have given it to the animals.
That's horrible. That's like complete the opposite of the actual humane. That's like inhumane society.
Pierre must have made the animals swallow the sealed bags full
That's
of
so
imitation synth at a secret
horrible.
base. Then he stuffed them into floating barrels and left the rest to Bernard.
Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. That's like
The
a
sealed bags combined with an
torture.
animal's body odor would certainly be enough to mask the scent of imitation synth.
During our inspections, we would have never thought to inspect the bellies of those animals for anything suspicious. Even if we tried to feel around for something, I'm sure it would be difficult to detect.
Exactly. I bet Bernard even transported animals with synth in their stomach alongside ones without. That way, it would be even harder to say with certainty that something was amiss. She's probably in the clear. Otherwise, Bernard would have never left without her. I'm guessing he didn't know whether Pierre had already hidden the next batch of imitation synth before he fled. Just imagine. He sees the notice we put in the Steambird, and it turns out that one of the very cats he gave to Pierre for the smuggling operation is out in the open, roaming the streets of Fontaine. If Pierre had already hidden the next batch of imitation synth, then Bonnie would practically be living proof of their crimes. He would have had no choice but to go after her.
So, that's why he came to find you and insisted on taking a closer look at the cat.
That fact is probably what spared Bonnie.
Oh, wait a second, I'm a little lost here. I get the part about hiding the substance in the pets, but those, what did you call them again? Floating barrels? Why even put the animals in there in the first place? If you've got something as convenient as a floating barrel, why not just stuff it with the imitation synth directly? Why not wait to hide the stuff until after the exchange has been made?
In order to make sure the animals could swallow the sealed bags, they made them extremely thin. Had they not done that, the animals would have likely bitten or chewed through them.
And if any of the imitation synth leaks out, they also would have needed a lot of cleaning agents to get rid of the resulting
That
smell.
step would have required a lot of energy, as well as a certain amount of technical expertise. So, it was better left to the more experienced Pierre. We've already proven how easy it is to pick up trace amounts of imitation synth, so I'm sure Bernard was taking all the precautions he could to avoid the same fate.
Okay, then let's head to the Humane Society right away and bring that guy to justice. I'll bring a Gardamek to speed up the process.
I feel so horrible. This is a horrible quest. Like, that's just horrible. Completely horrible. And they're all just I know they're not like purposely talking
The headquarters
talking
of the Humane
about
Society
it like
should be somewhere around here.
casually
Bernard
like
could show
this.
up
They
any
are
moment now.
like actually like going through it and trying to understand it. But it's just I can't.
Ah, you're the people from earlier. Wait, you're from...
After him! We can't let him get away!
Sorry, guy. Lynette runs way faster than you.
Give it up, Bernard.
Mercy. Have mercy. I'll talk.
The Humane Society has done so much good over the years, and yet you have committed such an atrocious deed in its name.
Look, I didn't have a choice, okay? My father cared about those blasted animals so much, he didn't bother to take care of his human wife and son at all. While those animals were showered with love, I lived worse than a dog.
No one asked.
Exactly.
How did you first get to know Pierre?
Well, after I took over the Humane Society, it gradually became harder and harder to maintain its operations. Until one day, someone suddenly passed me a letter. It said that I could stand to get a large sum of money as long as I helped them to transport some animals abroad. It was only after a few such transports that I finally understood what I was really transporting. But then, Pierre wrote to me, saying that we were already partners in crime and that I better keep cooperating with him if I didn't want to be reported to the guards.
You knew it from the very beginning, didn't you? The reason why you had to go through so many steps just to transport some animals.
I'd suggest that you confess everything right now if you don't want to add anything else to your list of crimes.
Yes, officer. I would order wooden barrels and flotation devices according to his instructions, and then load the sleeping animals onto a boat. Once I sailed to the location he provided, I would dump everything together into the sea. And a few days after that, I'd come by again in my boat and pick up the animals sleeping in the barrels. Once I had received enough of them, I'd bring them to the harbor to be adopted abroad.
I'm confused. If he's bringing them, then why is he also taking... He lost me there. A poster check, thank you. That's why you need to bring them to justice. You also pollute the sea too. You pollute the whole earth by existing in it.
That guy, Pierre, he was running the entire show. He set up all the meeting times and found all the foreign adopters. Oh, and he even supplied all of the goods too. I just did the transport. He was the one who planned out and executed everything else.
Yes, and you still did it, so that does not exempt you from your crimes. I don't know why you even bother.
Look, I don't know, okay? I've never ever met him in person. We've only ever communicated through letters.
And when did he send his final letter to you?
Just last night, he said that the Marechaussee Phantom is now after him, so he's planning to go into hiding for some time. He didn't mention where he's thinking about going, though, but he did tell me to look out for the guards.
It's been a few days since Pierre's last appearance. I'd wager that he sent that letter after he found his hiding spot.
I burned them. It was on his orders. I had to burn every letter after reading them. I wasn't even allowed to share them with the rest of the society employees.
Sure sounds like you're trying to use the lack of witnesses or evidence to pin the blame on Pierre.
No, I swear, this time I'm only telling you the truth.
Well, we can check the truth of your statements at the Opera House. I hope you know what'll be coming for you if I were to find any discrepancy between the evidence and the testimony you just gave.
I know. I swear I was just telling the truth.
My thanks to you both. Had it not been for you, I really don't know what would have happened to this case.
Bonnie helped, too.
That's true. It was all thanks to her that Bernard was finally exposed.
Good job, Bonnie. I wish I could pet you, but I'll pet you with my mousey. With my cursor, see, and scratch the belly too. No scent in your belly. I can't get past that, honestly. It's so horrible.
Looks like she's grown quite fond of you two as well. Then I'll leave you be. Just let me know if you find any other new leads.
She's still thinking about something.
It was that obvious, huh? Well, even though it didn't feel like Bernard was lying, after talking to him, I'm getting an even stronger sense that something's not quite right. We investigated so quickly that perhaps we've missed a thing or two along the way. Let me activate deduction mode and consider things again from the top to see if we can find anything new. Is there still anything unresolved or strange that we should try to consider?
About what we found in Poisson, about Bernard's letters, there is an unexplained part in the operations of this trafficking ring. I don't know.
Well, we've discovered that Bernard is responsible for the trafficking, while Pierre deals with supplying the goods. Is there something else in this scheme that we're...
Okay. What is a ledger? Bernard can be compensated for his work after completing a shipment. No suspicious record record would be left as long as he receives the funds as an individual rather than through the human society. Any past member of the Lefebvre family would probably have a number of connections outside of Fontaine. According to Chavroux's investigations, Pierre has been formally reprimanded for his synth-related research and can no longer get any materials from the Fontaine Research Institute. They always communicated in writing, and all of those letters have been burned, so we can no longer confirm or trace anything. We've already proven that Bernard and Pierre coordinated their handoffs by passing floating barrels to each other on open stretches of water. This one I'm thinking.
Yeah, according to Bernard, Pierre also supplied all of the goods. But if the Marechaussee Phantom's records are correct, Pierre should have lost all access to the materials required to create the imitation synth. And the Institute has also not reported any theft of their stocks. The Marechaussee Phantom found Bonnie and the Lefebvre pendant at Pierre's residence. That was the beginning point of our investigation.
It feels so like, I don't know, easy. The Lefebvre family is infamous in Fontaine, and even their innocent science became targets of revenge, but Pierre just carried the pendant with him as if it was an ordinary piece of jewelry. The pattern on the pendant is proof that its owner is an illegitimate child of the Lefebvre family, but this shouldn't be all. According to Bernard, the trafficked animals were taken directly to Pierre's base rather than to Poisson. Bonnie has been with Pierre ever since the first meeting between Pierre and the Marechaussee Phantom, and that's why Elodie came looking for her, but that shouldn't be all. Associated with this initial suspicions, Pierre became the key suspect in the case because of a suspicious cat and a suspicious pendant.
Why would he leave such an obvious trail for us
Exactly,
to follow,
that's my thoughts
when
as
he took
well.
so much care to not leave any traces of imitation synth in his home?
Like someone's trying to like hand him out to us.
Bernard claims to have received a letter last night from Pierre. In the letter, Pierre stated that he had gone into hiding. Is there something wrong with the letter?
The letter didn't mention Pierre's hiding spot, although it makes sense that Pierre wouldn't want anyone to find him. Regardless of whether he sent it anonymously or secretly delivered it himself, it's no longer something we can follow up. Bonnie had already been on the loose for a few days when we found her yesterday morning. That means that she had already broken free when the letter was written. The letter's purpose. If the point of the letter was to tell Bernard to get on his guard, then why didn't it also warn him about Bonnie? Yeah.
If Bonnie had imitation synth in her body, then she was a liability that had to be recovered at all costs. But if she wasn't carrying anything, then it would have made sense to tell Bernard not to worry. And thinking about it, Bernard only attracted our attention in the first place because he came to look for Bonnie. Could it be that the person who wrote the letter also knew nothing about Bonnie's whereabouts? Or they had a separate goal entirely? The final question is, why did I sense that something wasn't right after hearing Bernard's testimony? Even more so than before.
Pierre's conflicting behavior. Pierre made such a complicated operations plan, yet also exposed himself so easily to the investigating guards. And both written letters and handoffs using floating barrels are methods of communication that can be intercepted. Bernard has never met Pierre in person. And then it almost feels like the plan and the expos were done by two separate individuals and Pierre was set up. Even Bernard himself never knew that it wasn't Pierre that had been pulling his strings all along. It was someone else.
Deductive mode deactivated. I think we may be close to the actual answer.
Okay, this is getting real interesting.
Now behave and follow me to the interrogation room.
Ow, that hurt. Ow.
Contemplation, they're about to leave. Is it really okay to let them go? Oh no. Ah, let's take this one. Success! Amazing. Hold it right there.
Is there something else you need from me, traveler?
Bernard and Pierre, they weren't really acting alone, were they? Hi, Monica! How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. You've become detective in this world. Yes, we're trying to solve a case.
It all makes sense now.
Hey, what are you talking about? Look, even our
It's
confessed
her!
has no idea what you're saying.
Why was I being so thick?
Because he has been kept in the dark all along. And I assume it's the same with Pierre.
And Pierre thought he was taking orders from Bernard. Bernard thought he was communicating with Pierre. Because if it's her, she can, like, see when and where the shipments go. And kind of make sure that everything goes to plan. But for all this time, neither of them knew that there was a third person all along. Yeah.
That never quite added up for me. Why did Pierre feel compelled to return to his home with Bonnie and the pendant and make them so easy to find for the Marechaussee Phantom?
Any animals Pierre received from the floating barrels should have been taken directly to his base, and considering his precarious situation, the pendant should have been the last thing Pierre would have left.
Both of these
would
things
been
are in stark
lying around.
contrast to his usual meticulous and vigilant behavior. There's only one reasonable explanation. He was following orders, just like Bernard.
But where is he now? On the bottom of the sea with the ship? Or the boat? I'm okay, Monica. How are you? You're all good. I'm very happy for that.
He probably received the following instructions right before the Phantom came knocking on his door. Bring the cat and the pendant, and our undercover agent will be sure to help you. Unbeknownst to him, however, the third person who wrote that letter to him had long decided to sacrifice him and Bernard to save themselves.
They instructed the two men to communicate through letters and barrels specifically so that they'd never get to meet each other. Honestly, this third person probably planned to sell both of them out from the very beginning.
What? You can't be serious.
If you focus only on Bernard's testimony, it's easy to believe that only Bernard and Pierre were working together. The case appeared extremely simple. Bernard did the trafficking, Pierre the imitation synth production, drugging, and stuffing.
With everything accounted for, the third person would then be cleared for all suspicion.
Wait. But that doesn't make any sense. If that's the actual truth, then as soon as Pierre is caught, he'll explain his side of the story and the third person will...
Yes, unless they never catch him.
Which is why the third person made sure that Pierre would never be found again.
He's not alive
Once
anymore.
they had instructed Pierre to expose himself,
the third person wrote to Pierre again, suggesting that everything had been taken care of, and he should take Bonnie and safely return to his base. Of course, Pierre's disappearance at such a sensitive time immediately made him a prime suspect. Knowing that Bonnie had last been seen with him, all the third person would have to do from that point on would be to lead the Phantom to investigate the Humane Society and get Bernard to confess the truth.
Bernard would then testify that Pierre was the one who came up with the whole plot, and Pierre would be seen as having gone into hiding in anticipation of getting caught.
So you're saying that the letter I received yesterday, the one that made me think Pierre was still alive, it was also sent by the third person?
Is that what happened? I'll get back to headquarters right away and reinvestigate this case from the top.
Not so
Shelra said that
fast.
assumptions can be detrimental to solving a case. Someone among us, however, has been feeding us all kinds of preconceived notions ever since our first meeting. They suggested that Pierre's disappearance was an attempt to escape the judgment of the law, and that Pierre was a scion of the Lefebvre family. But if the disappearance is truly just a cover-up for a murder, then couldn't the true scion have been an illegitimate daughter, rather than an illegitimate son?
Huh?
Smart.
Haven't you taken this joke a bit too far?
Oh my god, I have
You're
something
right.
in my eye.
I did let a lot of assumptions get to my head when I first started to talk to you about the case. I'll make sure to correct my behavior.
You deliberately fed us lies, but even you could not control every last detail of your plan. There was a flaw in your scheme, and something didn't quite go as planned. Getting the Marechaussee Phantom to notice Pierre was only the first part of your plan. Had they failed to take notice of the Humane Society, they could have cast a wider net. And you couldn't predict what they might possibly find
Sorry,
if
I
given enough time.
Need a second to
This,
get something
of
off
course,
my eye.
was the main weakness of your plan.
Sorry. Of course, as always. As always, when you then go check, there's nothing. And everything's fine. I don't know what I think it's just like a piece of mascara or something. That was horrible. Okay. And once the special patrol and Linny got involved, it became even harder to control the outcome of the
As someone
investigation.
accustomed to acting from behind the scenes, you didn't want to take the risk of personally proposing a raid on the Humane Society. So, you thought about pulling a few more strings, so all the suspicion would point towards Bernard and his society.
A great option, of course, would be to also dispose of Bonnie and leave her body at Pierre's base in anticipation of a later discovery.
Once the Phantom expanded their search, it would only be a matter of time before they found Pierre's base. If a cat last seen with the suspect turned up dead at the imitation synth base, it wouldn't be long until the Phantom would figure out exactly how she had been mistreated and turn their eyes towards the one organization that has been sending boatloads of animals out of Fontaine.
However, something unexpected happened at the base. Bonnie managed to escape in the chaos.
It was probably during your ambush of Pierre. You didn't even have the time to check if she had already been stuffed full of imitation synth.
Poor Bonnie.
Still, you soon found another opportunity. Before long, Bonnie had made her way back into the city, and even popped up on the Steambird. Like Bernard, you desperately wanted to confirm the contents of her stomach, so you hurried to find us. Unlike Bernard, however, you were hoping that Pierre did have the time to make her swallow a load of imitation synth. While investigating the suspect's cat, we unexpectedly discovered that the suspect has been smuggling imitation synth using living animals as intermediaries. That was your plan, in any case. With that, you'd have been able to lead the investigation towards the Humane Society.
But Bonnie was
Bonnie
very
had managed to
lucky.
escape before Pierre was able to stuff her full of imitation synth. That part of your plan could no longer be carried out. But as shrewd as you were, you came up with another plan right away. You manipulated the Traveler and I to help you identify Bernard as a key suspect.
You knew Linny was investigating the case with Chevreuse, and you also knew of Lynette's previous encounter with the Lefebvre family.
You used the Lefebvre name as bait to get us to join your investigation. With 2 extra bodies around, the Special Patrol is sure to soon take note of the strange event of Bernard somehow having a reason to look for Pierre's cat.
So, what you're saying is, I went to all that trouble just for the chance that you might put forth the suggestion that would lead you down the wrong path.
Of course, you did far more than that. Just now at Lumidus Harbor, were you not the person who highlighted the suspicious activities of the Society?
By showing us the port's travel logs.
You even highlighted the Society's activities during your compilation of the logs, so they'd be immediately visible to anyone examining the records. Moreover, the logs contained no records of the Port Authority's activities. In other words, your activities.
And what are you trying to suggest with that?
I am insinuating that you had plenty of opportunities to transfer the raw materials for imitation synth from the harbor to a boat, and then sail over to the meeting place full of floating barrels.
Once Bernard had placed the animals in the barrels, you'd open the lids and also dump in the raw materials. As long as you did it before Pierre came for his pickup, there'd be no one the wiser.
And that's how neither the trafficker nor the manufacturer knew there was a third person who supplied the raw materials, and surreptitiously operated between them.
First, you got in touch with both parties and secured the raw materials. Then you instructed Bernard to prepare the floating barrels and the animals. After that, you slipped the raw materials into the barrels next to the animals and requested that Pierre pick up the barrels and bring them back to his
Pierre
base.
manufactured imitation synth using the raw materials you provided, stuffed the animals, and placed the animals back into the barrels. Having received the green light from you as Pierre, Bernard then retrieved his animals and shipped them out of Fontaine once he had received enough for a full batch. This is the truth behind your smuggling ring.
I can't believe it. I never put 2 and 2 together.
You've sure got an extremely lively imagination.
So what do you think she's going to say next?
Ever thought about a career in writing crime novels?
Ever thought about a career in writing crime novels, huh?
It appears that it's quite easy to predict what you'll think or say. Then if we apply that to this case, we can also think of a few places to look for incriminating evidence. You know very well that this case will not end until Pierre is found, so you will have him commit suicide out of fear and shame to end the investigation for good. That way, you can also pin the blame for the overseas smuggling activities, the theft of the harbor's confiscated raw materials, and even the Lefebvre name on him. After all, dead men tell no tales. But you still want it to appear as if he had sent that last letter to Bernard, so you have to make sure he cannot be found until after Bernard has confessed to the authorities. To do that, you either will hide his body until you've found an appropriate time to set up a fake suicide scene, or you'll dump it someplace where it'll be hard to determine the exact time of death. Submerged in water, for instance. The location would ideally allow you to keep the body hidden for some time while also letting you keep an eye on it.
This is a very heavy, dark quest. Like, it's so casual, but this is a heavy quest. I was really not expecting this. I kind of suspect her when Lumine thinks there are third person and she's the one who takes a major appearance in the story. Lynette is fun sometimes. You see cartoon expression. Yes, it's part of the hangout event to see her emotions clearer. Okay, the location would ideally allow you to keep the body hidden for some time and while also letting you keep an eye on it. An example of such place may be somewhere in your own boat or underneath the waters near Lumidus Harbor. Set a fire to make it look like he had burned himself to a crisp. You could also keep him in a very cool environment to be handled later. This is a really dark quest, honestly. I'm really surprised. Like, Genshin can be dark, but this is some next level shit. Maybe this one?
There are only so many options to hide a person's time of death, after all. As long as the Phantom investigates each of the possibilities in turn, they'll surely find Pierre's remains. Especially since, as the prime suspect who will now be taken into custody, you will no longer have the time to move him, or set up a fake suicide scene to cover up the murder.
How absurd. And on what grounds will you order my arrest? Don't think for a second that your spouts of nonsense will amount to any kind of real argument. After all, I'm
Elodie Lefebvre!
There
As
we
the
go.
captain of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol, I hereby declare you as a suspect in the case.
Prime
if you have
timing.
any objections, you may raise them later during interrogation.
That's right. We received a message from Lumiduce Harbor that you were going to investigate the Humane Society. We didn't expect to run into you at such a critical moment.
While at the harbor, we noticed something else extremely interesting. Apparently, you often used all kinds of excuses to swap your shifts. And if one were to match the times of your shifts to the activities of the Humane Society and those of certain foreign ships, they'd find them to be an exact match.
That's just a coincidence.
Yes, I'm sure you have already thought of a dozen different ways to explain away the suspicious activities. But as far as evidence goes, that should be enough to warrant taking you into custody.
Don't worry. If it turns out that the guards are still unable to find any evidence after all this, Lynette and I will do everything in our power to clear your name.
Although judging by her reaction, I assume no follow-up from us will be needed.
The Lefebvres were infamous for using disguise and infiltration to achieve their goals. Who would have thought that they would have planted someone within the guards?
Judging from the timeline, they likely arranged for you to enter the guards before the fall of the clan. But they probably didn't expect you to turn it to your advantage and use your job to save yourself during the purge.
Not only that, but you actively participated in the interrogation, arrest, and judgment of the Lefebvres during their fall, thus clearing yourself of suspicion. You brutally and cruelly abandoned your allies as soon as they outlived their usefulness, just like a lizard cutting off its own tail in order to live. You've been doing this for years.
So you played me like a fool after all?
Oh ho. That's some unexpected.
What was that word you used? Ally? You think that someone as foolish as him is worthy to call himself my ally? They were worthless scum. All of them. Not just Bernard and Pierre, but those Lefebvres too. They always just saw me as a tool. I lost all my chances of a normal life just because I was born into their lot. Not only that, but because they wanted me to become an undercover agent, they stripped me of my name, too. I had to live in constant fear of them while they were alive. And even once they were gone, I had to continue to bury my heritage and my name. Always worrying that their enemies would come knocking at the door. Do you know anything about what I've been through over all these years? My life as the last Lefebvre?
No, but that doesn't excuse your horrible behavior. There's a hint of drama in the voice of the suddenly agitated Elodie. It feels like her anger may be part of some kind of bluff.
And neither do I care.
Give it to us straight, nice. No one asked about your past. You can save that speech for the trial.
Are you for real? Aren't you a Lefebvre victim too?
Elodie, you're the only one still living under the shadow of a name.
That's enough. Keep your hands where I can see them and do not resist arrest. If you have more to say, save it for the interrogation room.
What a joke. What a joke! Hey!
Oh no.
Don't come any closer.
What's that?
Know what this is? I've secretly planted loads of explosives in the Humane Society. Just one step closer and Whether they're cats, dogs, or just unlucky human employees.
She's
They'll all
crazy.
be blown up into smithereens. Surely, you bunch of goody two-shoes won't let that happen, right?
Oh no, I have terrible luck. Assist Linny in deceiving. Launch a sneak attack on Elodie while she's distracted. Try to convince Elodie to surrender. That won't work. Help Chevreuse to intimidate. I'm putting all my trust on Linny. Please give me a good one. Yes! Oh my goodness. This has been this has been the not the saddest, we've had worse, but the darkest and the most like I want to say violent, but it's not violent that I'm looking for. Like, this feels really real and not in a good way. Like, I don't know, this quest, this is very much not what I expected. I don't know if I can upload this on YouTube even. Like, there's so many themes. I'll have to put it like only view if you're 18 or older, because this is some dark shit. I can understand how you feel. Like you, we are also victims of the Lefebvre clan.
But if you were to endanger innocence now for your own gain, the public anger towards the Lefebvres would only rise to a boiling point. And the families of the new victims would be dead set on exacting revenge on you.
And what of it?
I'll be your hostage, Elodie.
What?
Don't do this, Linny.
But we need to end all of the hate and violence arising from this clan once and for all. I'll raise my hands and come over slowly. I promise that I'm completely unarmed.
I'm watching you. Don't think for a second you can pull fast one on me.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Just keep your eyes on me. Don't look away.
There we go. Ha, hoo, he, ha. As I couldn't read that, sorry. Good, Bonnie.
So I was right after all. It's easier to deal with the person causing the problem than the problem itself.
And what about that device she had?
This is it. Looks like it's just a toy.
Guess that's probably why she suddenly flipped and knocked out Bernard. He probably knew that there were no explosives at the society.
Well, that's at least a relief. I mean, I remember Nevillette's crying, seeing people pass. Yeah, there are some really sad stories, and like the Conria, when we learned the origin of hilichurls and stuff like that, and the whole of Enconomia, not Enconomia, the other, is it Enconomia? I feel like Enconomia is the island. I can't remember. The place underneath, like below the ground, a whole small world. Like those are like really dark and extremely sad. But this is some really dark. It's so, I don't know how I feel about this quest. She also pretended like she had a villainous breakdown, as if she had no choice but to kill to escape her
given
life.
that she never even showed her face to Bernard and Pierre, I had my doubts that she'd have gone to the society in person to plant explosives.
Thank you for your help, everyone. I'll take them back for thorough questioning, and find someone better to take over the Humane Society. I might need a few statements from everybody. Would you be able to come with me?
If statements are all you need, can Linny provide them on my behalf? I still need to go back and explain some things to the crew. I also had an appointment with the Traveler before we got interrupted.
When you said I could stop by her place, what did she say again? Seems I already know.
So you do remember.
We want
Yes,
tea
I
and
invited you to come over to our
biscuits.
place. Once I'm done talking with the troop, I'll make a nice cup of tea and bring Bonnie to wait for you outside of my door.
Aww. Oh my god, they're just lying on the ground. Oh my god, I'm like literally walking all over them. At least we can walk over her. He's not, well, actually he is a scum as well. Just walk over him, over them. Yeah, yeah, kick them, cut.
You can leave the rest of this to me. The other guards will be joining me shortly. Don't worry, they won't have another chance to escape. The materials have many other regular uses outside of being used to make imitation synth, so they're not immediately subject to being confiscated or destroyed. The harbor would usually just seize them for some time while the customs paperwork is filled out and approved. If approved, they'd be let through, and if not, they'd be returned to sender. Elodie probably used her position to replace a portion of the shipment with something else, before sending the whole shipment back to sender. Given that the foreign merchants who sent in the shipments were probably working with her in the first place, they likely just never reported the difference in what they sent and what they received. We will, of course, continue to investigate the rest of the details of this case. Now that we've caught Elodie, figuring out the whole scheme should just be a matter of time.
Okay, what does Lini say about this whole thing?
You must have spent a record-breaking amount of time in serious mode today. I can't remember the last time I've seen you like this. Is it because of a special someone?
Oh my god, Lini, only you can think like that. There's still a few things I'm curious about. How did Pierre get recruited into the Sheen?
Based on information that we found before, imitation synth was first circulated on a small scale in Fontaine before becoming a large-scale smuggling scheme. I'd assume that the first offerings of imitation synth came from what Pierre made in his early days. But since he was not experienced with running a clandestine operation, he was soon discovered by guard Elodie. Elodie saw the opportunity to make a great profit in his work, and perhaps even the chance of making a new life for herself, so she decided to cover his tracks. She started writing to him in Bernard's name, using what evidence she had compiled and the promise of enormous profits to blackmail him into cooperating with her. Unfortunately for her, she ran into Lynette. Even though my sister doesn't like to focus too much on a regular day, serious mode Lynette is one of the most perceptive people I've ever known. Still, all of that thinking really saps her energy. I need to go give some statements on her behalf, so I'll leave the recharging to you.
Good. And now I will need tea. I can't have tea with Lynette without having tea myself. Oh. I can use it. That's cool. That's actually really cool. Okay. I'll go get myself a tea. Just a couple minutes and I'll be back then.
I wonder what my dear sister Lynette is doing right now. Missing me to death, I'm sure. So long as the audience thinks that seeing is believing, there's no limit to the number of tricks I can pull off. This is no time for distractions. Seriously, you have a great magician standing right here. You don't want to miss the best part, do you? I wonder what my dear sister Lynette is doing right now. Missing me to death, I'm sure.
Alright, I have my tea. It's not yet steeped, but it'll be hopefully by the time we're having tea with Lynette. Okay, where are we going? This way. I run normally, so, or like go there without other teleporting. I don't think we can teleport closer actually, so. Ooh, that's a nice little shop. Cute. Is it jasmine or like milk? I don't like milk in my tea, and I don't really drink milk anyways, so I don't have milk in my tea. This one was a blend of, I forgot something. I actually don't remember
So
what
long
it
as the
was,
audience thinks
but it
that
smells
seeing
so
is
good.
believing, there's no limit to the number of tricks I can pull off.
You already got a hat? Yes, it's Linny's hat. There we go!
Black tea and a cute kitty.
I do
Truly
have
the
black
best
key.
combo for
A
standby
key.
mode.
Tea and a kitty.
Want some?
A cute kitty, please.
Ah, I see she's already starting to snuggle up to you.
Are you not interested in any follow-up developments from it?
Not at all. Information is indeed very important, but if you were to try to collect every piece of information you come across, your efficiency would actually decrease. Plus, if you just think about it, what sounds more fun? Writing a statement or enjoying a tea party?
The cute
Great
kitty.
answer. That'd be my pick too. Had we not run into that case, we could have spent the entire day like this. But now, I'm running low on both time and energy.
The key isn't how long you spend in standby mode. With quality time, you should be able to recharge more quickly. Yes.
You're right. I can sense it. I'm recharging very quickly at the moment.
When did you start to suspect Elegy?
Something about her rubbed me the wrong way since the very beginning. But to be more precise, it was probably around the time when I saw Bonnie try to get away from her.
Elodie tried to get close to Bonnie.
Elodie tried to get close, but Bonnie deliberately dodged her. Maybe Bonnie had tried to evade her before at Pierre's base. Or perhaps Bonnie just instinctively knew that she wasn't a good person.
Animals usually do know. They are really good, they have really great intuition. And Elodie probably goes to Fortress of Meripede. I hope so. I hope she does.
Not everyone who likes cats is a good person. But if cats like you, you're probably alright.
Yes.
Humans tend to overthink things, but cats rely on their instincts, and they're pretty sharp. I mean, just look at Bonnie. She took a liking to you the moment you met.
But she is a cutie. You are a little cutie, of course. Yay! Oh my god! I love this! Look at us keeping the kitty. And I have my tea as well. I wish I could drink it, but it's too hot. I need to save this. I love the kitty. Okay, wow, that was an interesting event. It's only one of many different ways how this goes, though. I think we could do this. I think if we do nothing, we just go have a tea, probably. I'll try that, because it's supposed to be only just a really short thing. But if we open up a new thing, like a new investigation, not investigation, but like a new whole thing, then maybe I won't do it all the way, because I've been live for a sufficient amount already. I'll see what happens if I choose to do nothing.
Huh, I didn't like that. Clearly, there's some design flaws to iron out. Let's see... 4. Well, if you want to get the right answer, you have to... So, to put it another way, if picking a... Or... Why don't you pick a card? Since I ran into you here, that means... our fates are, like... interfering with each other.
I don't know if it's this one or the other one.
Thank you.
Maybe it's this one,
Here,
and then
take
we
the
do
fatometer.
nothing.
Also, if...
Let's see.
Huh?
If it was that urgent, someone would have come looking by now. That applies both to your troop and to Bonnie's
What
owner.
you're saying is, since nobody's come looking, I can just keep hanging out with Bonnie for a bit longer? Is that really okay?
Why not? Well, Bonnie sure seems to like that idea. Oh, this one. Yes!
You make a good point.
We can just stick around here for a while, so if anyone does come looking for you, they'll find you.
Well, assuming Bonnie hasn't strayed too far from where she went missing, there's a chance we might bump into her owner in either the Steambird offices or the restaurant. So, stick around here in standby mode? Yeah, that suits me.
Shall we find some cat food?
Good idea. Bonnie's definitely
Shall we
hungry.
get some snacks for us too?
May as well. We could be here a while.
Well, since we've got cat food and snacks, let's find a place to chill.
When I was trying to find somewhere I could space out earlier, collect my thoughts, I figured the cafe
I
might
love
be a
that.
good shot. Alright then. Plan of action, spend the whole day spacing out.
I love that. Yay! Look at us being with the kitty all day. Oh my god, I love these. I love these little shots that you can save each time you complete one. Aw, so cute. Bonnie's such a cutie pie. I'm happy that this worked out. So now all of the other ones are like things we still need to do. I mean, I'll go this way. Or wait a minute, which one is this one? Falling into layers of fog. I think this depends on what we do. But I'll try the Linny's route, and if it like continues for a long time, I might not do that. But if it's shorter, it's fine.
Huh. I didn't like that. Clearly, there's some design flaws to iron out. I'll have to let Fremine know.
Okay.
Let's see. 4. Well, the card, if you want to get the right answer. So, to put it another way,
you should leave the razzle dazzling to
Thank
Linny.
you. This one is final, I promise. Here, take the photometer.
Oh, it doesn't matter what
if
I
it's
pick.
5 or above. Also, if you have...
Okay. So this one is the one we haven't done.
Back to the drinks reception. Nope, I said it was your decision. I'm not gonna waste any more energy dragging my feet. Besides, the drinks reception is technically part of the job as an official publicity event. So, if I bail on it, I might get sued for breach of contract. That would be a huge pain in the butt. One other thing. Do you want to come with me? If you're free, I mean. Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Okay. So it is a separate whole branch of this quest. So I don't want to do this right now, because I'm anticipating it will last for more than 50 minutes. So instead we can continue it next time. So the next stream, for Genshin stream at least, we'll complete this whole hangout event. Let me see. No, I can't get anything. Never mind then. Alright, I think this is a good time to end today's stream, and I forgot my phone, so I can't check who's live, unfortunately. So, no raid today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you had a good time. And I hope you enjoyed my illuminated face better. It's so weird now that the lighting is so much different. But I hope that made a difference. Aw, thank you. Thank you, Risky. And I still didn't get to sip my tea. It's really, it's really hot. It's okay, but it's tasty. It's good tea. Anyways, thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me and doing the hangout event with me. And tomorrow, if you didn't see, tomorrow I'll be streaming Not So Berry on YouTube. Yes, yes, I will be streaming on YouTube. If you want to see that, you can head out to this link here. It is my main channel, not the second channel. Second channel is just for my VODs. And yeah, we'll continue this quest next time I play Genshin, which is probably later this week. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow or and on another Twitch stream. And take care of yourself, drink some water, and sorry, I got a hiccup. And yeah, have a good night. All right,